Ruben Amorim, should he be sacked or should Manchester United give him an opportunity to go into next season with a proper preseason and a couple of new signings who actually suit his system so that we can properly judge him as Manchester United manager? Let's talk about it, because following the 2-0 defeat at home to West Ham, there has been a lot of discussion in the Manchester United fan base about whether or not the Portuguese man should stay in charge. And I have some thoughts about this. So in today's video, we're going to talk about our league form. We're going to talk about our Europa League form, and we're going to talk about Ruben Amorim's tactics. And lastly, we'll talk about the players who've progressed, players who've regressed under Ruben Amorim, and whether or not they should take a lion's share of the blame, because we've seen this movie before. So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. The 2-0 loss to West Ham at home makes it 17 losses in the league, which I believe is Manchester United's worst season since the mid-1970s. There aren't enough words in the English dictionary to describe how unfathomable it is for any manager at any big club, under any circumstances, to survive being 16th in the league and being as bad as we are, both home and away. That cannot be denied. Whether you blame the players, whether you blame the manager, the reality is most boards will put that on the manager, because as a manager, you're in a leadership position. And the sucky thing about being leaders is that you have to take accountability for all the problems in your ship, not just the ones that you created. That's the sucky thing, the uncomfortable reality of being in a management position, is that if the ship sinks, you're responsible, even if you weren't the one who created the hole, because part of leadership is taking extreme accountability and ownership of everything that goes wrong and everything that goes well. We can't praise you and call you a tactical genius when you're unbeaten in the Europa League and then conveniently just blame the players when it's the Premier League, as if it isn't the same players. That's not how that works. If you give credit here, you have to also give blame over here. And so that's where balance comes in and nuance comes in, because Manchester United have been really bad in the league, but I don't think we should diminish how good we've been in the Europa League for a couple of reasons. One, we could actually win it. And I say could because I'm not really confident that we'll beat Spurs, but I hope and pray for the life of me that we do, because I will have to disappear from the internet if we don't. And two, we've actually beat some pretty good teams to get there. And when I say pretty good teams, I mean pretty good teams by Manchester United standards. Remember how bad we've been this season. And then remember that Bilbao are 4th in the La Liga. Then remember that Betis are a Spanish side. Bilbao and Betis are both Spanish sides. And I bring that up to say we don't do well against Spanish sides in Europe. So as a Manchester United fan who watched us through the mid-2000s under Sir Alex Ferguson, I am impressed that we got past those two teams unscathed. Coupled with the Lyon result as well, because I saw a lot of people writing us off against Lyon, I think it's fair to say that we deserve to be in the final. There is no doubt in my mind as a Manchester United fan that we deserve to be in the final, and we have been good in the Europa League. However, there is this league form that I cannot ignore. It's been awful. It's been awful. And that brings me to the tactics, because usually when the results don't convince you, you look at what a manager's style of play is. You look at their tactics, you look at which players are progressing, and you say to yourself, okay, we're not doing that well in the league, and maybe we haven't won any trophies yet, but I believe in this manager because I see tangible things that I can articulate, reasons that I can articulate to say, I'm going to defend this guy because I believe in him. This player is improving. The system has improved us as a team in this area or that area. That's usually what happens, right? I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm going to be honest. I don't see it. This is not me being negative. This is not me being toxic. This is me being honest. I don't see the positives with regards to Ruben Amorim's system. Even if we talk about the players who've performed well, Amad Diallo, I don't think that's down to Ruben Amorim. I think Amad Diallo is just brilliant. And I know this because I've been screaming for Amad Diallo to start since the Ten Hag days. I am not surprised by how good Amad Diallo's been because I've been one of his biggest advocates. I was screaming for him to start under Erik ten Hag every single week. And I got told, stop being an armchair expert. You're not qualified to pick the team. It's crazy how an unqualified person on the internet, which I am, I'm just a fan, I'm not better than anybody else. It's crazy how I saw that Amad Diallo was good, but a Dutch manager who led Ajax to a trophy, multiple trophies, and has been a relatively successful manager by comparison with most managers, couldn't see that. That's just crazy to me. But anyways, that's besides the point. I don't think that's down to Ruben Amorim. I think Amad Diallo is just an amazing player. Okay, Bruno Fernandes. Again, I don't think that's down to Ruben Amorim. Sure, you can give him credit for minor changes or minor improvements here or there in Bruno's game, but ultimately, I think the manager who got the best out of Bruno is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I'm not a fan of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so for me to say that says a lot. I think the best version of Bruno that we saw was the early days under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Genuinely speaking, nothing that Bruno has done this season has shocked me. Not his output, not anything. Then you go down the list and you look at someone like Leniero and Mazraoui. Can we really say that Amorim's coaching is the reason why Mazraoui is such a good technical footballer? I don't think so. I think he's been tidy since he's been at Bayern. And Leniero, we knew he was a very talented centre-back. Yes, he's steadily progressed, so maybe you can bring that down to Amorim. I don't know. I'm not convinced. And even if we give Ruben Amorim, that's just one player in a squad of how many? Matthijs de Ligt, I think he's been good. I think he's been solid. But it's nothing to write home about. I'm not amazed by how calm and steady Matthijs de Ligt has been. I'm not blown away. I don't believe it's great tactical work by Ruben Amorim. So my point is, the players who've progressed, I don't really put that down to Amorim. And the players who've more or less stayed the same or regressed kind of just proved the point that nobody's really improved. And so on the one hand, we've got these poor results in the Premier League. On the other hand, we've got the system that's not really working because obviously the players don't suit the system. And so I'm left sitting there as a Manchester United fan going, where is the belief? Because saying a manager doesn't have their desired players is not really an argument. It isn't. Unless you're one of the people that believe that Ruben Amorim's job here is to build a new system for Manchester United and we're going to have a new identity. We're going to have a reset, which is a different conversation entirely. And that is actually a fair argument. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Am I Ruben Amorim out? No. But I'm on the edge. I really am on the edge. And what would change it for me is if next season the results don't improve within the first 10 games of the league and obviously the cup competitions. That is my honest opinion. Ruben Amorim has been on thin ice for me for a very long time, and the ice is very close to cracking. The Europa League final doesn't really make a difference to me. You know, I mean, I say that now, but if we lose to Spurs, I'll probably be broken and have to disappear from the internet for a while. But in all honesty, it doesn't change anything. If Ruben Amorim wins the Europa League, I don't really think that saves his reputation in my eyes. What will save his reputation is a dramatic improvement in our quality of play next season. Forget the results. I don't really care about the results. If there's things that I can see, that I can believe in on the pitch, players are improving, and the new signings that come in are actually gelling with the players who are currently doing well, then I will be Ruben Amorim in 100%. But right now, I'm not 100%. I am going on hope. That's all this is. It's hope. I hope Ruben Amorim does well. I don't believe he will do well based on evidence. I'm just hoping. And my hope is wearing thin. That's the truth. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's been your boy Triple M. Leave a like on the video if you want to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And let me know what you think, man. Genuinely. Whether you're a rival fan, whether you're a United fan. I think sometimes on the internet people forget that at the end of the day, we're just football fans giving our observations about the game. And some people get so defensive and some people get so emotionally invested that they seem to get offended and triggered by certain arguments. You know, I saw someone the other day genuinely saying, how could you be Ruben Amorim out? And it's like, bro, how could you not? Again, I'm not Ruben Amorim out. But if somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I'm Ruben Amorim out, I can't argue with them. What logical reasons can I give to defend this manager other than the fact that he doesn't have his profiles, which, by the way, isn't an argument, because most top clubs and most fans of top clubs would be saying, so what? Adapt. Change your system until you actually have the players you have, stupid. That's what most people would be saying, right? And so it's like, I don't know. I can't defend him. And I want him to give me reasons to defend him next season. Because this season, there's no shot. Anyways, see ya.